Hello there, and welcome back to Chiquita Nicole Speaks. My name is Chiquita Nicole, and this podcast is where I uplift and empower women to be the best versions of themselves by providing tips and tricks for them to use in their day-to-day lives. Today, we are going to discuss building confidence. Woo! I love that topic right there. And I have a special guest with me today who believes that women of all ages can feel confident in herself. Kara has been the CEO of Angel Competitions Bikini LLC since the company was founded in 2013. They create custom fitness competition suits that make women feel confident on stage, and I can attest to that because I have one myself. Kara has helped lead Angel Competition Bikinis to grow into one of the largest suppliers of competition suits for bodybuilders all over the world. Under Kara's leadership, Angel Competition Bikinis was awarded the Kansas Emerging Business of the Year in 2018. Now that is quite the accomplishment. Let's all formally meet Kara. Hey Kara, how you doing, girl?
I am doing wonderful. I'm so honored to be here, a guest on your podcast. I love everything that you talk about on your podcast, and it really aligns with my vision. So I'm just honored, and it's a perfect fit for me to talk on this podcast today.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much for being here. So I know you mentioned that building confidence is something that can happen for women of all ages. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so when I started the business, I started because I bought a suit online from what was known as one of the top competition suit companies and got it, put it on, and I did not feel confident. You know, I got on stage, I had worked so hard, and the thing that was lacking was my confidence because of my suit. It just was not fitting me right. You know, so that's kind of, that is how the company was founded, initially to give confidence to women on stage. And since then, my view of making women feel confident has really inspired me to reach out to the younger generation as well, because I think it starts there. You know, it starts when these girls are 5, 6, 7. So I volunteer as a coach for 3rd through 6th graders through an organization called Girls on the Run, and it's really awesome what we teach these girls. We teach them skills on how to build their confidence through running and being physical, and tools that they can use for the rest of their life. So I just truly believe that any woman, whatever your age, can start working on your confidence and leading to a happier life.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely true. Like, I know for me, like, I also work with young women, and with my business, I pride myself in uplifting women because we go through so many things in life, and that can tear our confidence down. And I think it's important to have other women as well that can kind of help us boost that up and let us know, like, girl, you are beautiful. You have it going on. Like, it is okay. There was a point in time when I used to be afraid to compliment a woman because I just didn't know if it was appropriate or not. But being the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, just throughout life, I think it's important to empower the next woman. So I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing. And I work with young girls too, because that's where it starts. It starts with young girls, like from little girl to teenager to adult. And I think in the teen ages is when it's needed the most, because their body is changing. It's doing things that they're not used to it doing. And they're like, what is this? And then they might feel awkward. So it's just good to let them know that this is normal and you are still beautiful. You are still capable of anything. Don't let no man, no boy, nobody try to tear down what it is that you have going for yourself. So that's so cool.
Yeah, and I think just recently our culture has started to accept the confident, empowering CEO, role model, Wonder Woman type figure. Yeah. You know, back, it was just 10, 20 years ago, if a woman showed up as super confident and proud of herself, was almost seen as, you know, the bitch.
Right.
Now, we have come a long way just in the last 10, 20 years to showing that a confident woman is beautiful. And we need to become more accepting of those confident women that portray that sense of power. And they're not doing that in an arrogant way. It's who they are, and it's who we should be. We should be confident.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. I know there was a point in time when women were supposed to be seen and not heard, and they weren't supposed to speak up for themselves, and they were supposed to always play that damsel in distress type role. And now women are being strong and speaking up and doing a lot for themselves. And I think that that's a good thing. I think that women being able to showcase their strength and their ability is something that needs to be accepted, and I'm grateful that it is being accepted. I mean, you're finding more women, female CEOs than ever before. And with competing, I'll tell you a little story about myself. Like, when I first started competing, I was so scared because I grew up in a very conservative Christian household where we had to always cover up. We couldn't wear anything too tight, or we were considered like loose or trying to get attention. So growing up in that type of environment, and then going into competing and learning how to embrace your curves that God blessed you with and use them as a means to exude confidence. When I first started competing, I got looked at like, what is this girl doing? This is not the way I raised her. What is she wearing? You are going to be condemned because you are showing too much skin. And I will be honest with you, the very first time I put on a competition bikini, I was afraid to walk out in front of anybody. Like, my coach, I was doing a posing practice. So it was just my coach and like 3 or 4 team members. And I was afraid to walk out just because of the fact that I grew up being taught that you're supposed to cover up. Like, you're just not supposed to show your body. And mind you, the only thing that was really exposed was my glutes, my legs, my stomach, all that. And the necessary parts were covered. So for me, I was just like, oh my gosh. And one of the female coaches who was in the back helping me get dressed, she was like, don't be afraid, it's okay, you look amazing. And I didn't feel like I looked amazing. I just felt like, oh my gosh, everything is out and everybody's gonna be looking at me. And so I went ahead and did it. I walked out of there, and surprisingly, my walk looked like I was confident, but I wasn't. That's just the way I walk. And the more and more I did it, the more and more I practiced, the more comfortable in my skin I became. The more I became to embrace what it is that God blessed us with. You know, we as women, we're oftentimes made to feel like we're not supposed to love our bodies.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, why not? The man loves it. Why shouldn't we love it?
Yeah.
You know, and anytime we dress sexy or cute, it's always in the perception of we're trying to entice a man or get a man's attention, but that's not always true. We want to look good for ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We do it for ourselves. Like, why is it that when a woman dresses sexy or a woman puts something on that it's always to attract a man? Why can't it be because we just love the way we look? We're happy with the skin that God blessed us with, or that we worked hard for in the bodybuilding world, and we want to look good. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, so I just feel like it's important. And even like with what I do with Team Sassy Fitness, like, I built this business off of empowering women with confidence through health, fitness, and wellness. So I do health and fitness coaching. And as you know, I also pride myself in motivational speaking because I like to empower women to let them know, hey, you got this. Whatever, if you look in the mirror and by chance you're not confident or happy with what you have, accept what you have first and then work to improve it, because it can be improved. Don't look in the mirror and hate yourself, because life happens. Things happen to us where we might gain weight, we might lose too much weight, we might be stressed and may not look our best. But guess what? Once we build that confidence, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. And one thing that we started in our company is we realized that once you work, 12, 16 weeks in your prep and you get on stage, you feel really confident in your stage physique. And then a couple weeks later, where that's not attainable, you gain a couple pounds and then you start to not feel confident and you have this amazing physique. You still have an incredible figure. So we created what's called the Angel Fashion Show, and we do it every year, except 2020, we had to postpone it to 2021. We do it every year, and it's accepting of all athletes during their in-season or off-season. So it has a variety. It's about 130 models, and they can range from at any point in their season, and just showing them that you are confident, whether you are in your muscle building phase, if you're 25% body fat all the way down to some girls are in peak week and they're 15% body fat. So it just shows all of these different spectrums of female athletes in showing them that they can be confident. Because we do see that in this sport where, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I know I can. In my first couple of competitions where I got on stage and I felt incredible, and 3 or 4 weeks later, I'm like, I don't look like that anymore.
Right. I can definitely relate.
Yeah. I think if you've ever done a show, you can definitely relate to that. And so it's really great for these athletes to be able to be on a stage, not be judged on their physique. And the only thing they're doing on that stage is showing the world that they're confident.
Right. And I love that too. I actually saw that on Instagram and I was like, ooh, I want to be a part of that, because you're absolutely right. After we compete and we get all the accolades, we win trophies, and our body looks in tip-top shape, and then we start to look like normal healthy, or normal physique, but we've gotten accustomed to that lean physique, and which is not realistic, but because we like how it looks, we feel like this is something we have to attain, and a lot of times the confidence can go lacking. It's like, am I doing something wrong? Girl, no. There's so many people looking at me and you look amazing. And I'm like, I'm not even as lean as I once was, but I know that I'm in my building phase of competition, and then I'll start cutting like in January. So to them, all they see is this fit woman with muscles, and she looks toned and her stomach is flatter than mine. And they feel like, oh, I look amazing. But a lot of times we're our own worst critic. You know,
so
we look at
our.
Yeah, we are, and we can pick apart every little thing that's not perfect on us. Every imperfection that we can find, we want to poke at it instead of picking out the positive things. There's no perfect person in the world. Everybody has a flaw or two or three. And so if we sit there and just pick on ourselves, I don't think that's a good thing, because I look at it this way. If I was not myself and I was you, and you came to me and you said, girl, you got fat under your armpits, that need to go away, that is ugly. Girl, your nose is big, you need what you gonna do about that nose? You need a nose job. Girl, I wish your hair was longer, or why you don't straighten it? I would be mad, right? If someone else came to say that. So my question is, why do we allow ourselves to speak to ourselves in a way that we wouldn't allow another person to speak to us?
Exactly. You would never say that to anyone. And I'm in the same boat. I've said things to myself in my head that if I said to another human, I would just be straight up evil. How do we do that? Yeah. Like, your nose is beautiful, but thank you. It's frustrating. And I think it just being confident with our flaws, with what we're given in thing that I was not taught from a young age. So I think that empowering the younger generation to instill those values as early as possible is key, and keep instilling them into these, and to just, accepting maybe you have a little extra fat here, but it's what makes us beautiful is how diverse we are. I know that's so cliche to say, but when you really think about it, it's so true.
It is true. And then when you think about it, none of us are made to be exactly alike, and I look at it as the word confidence should not only come with the outer appearance. I think confidence needs to be within. I have seen women who are obese and like in a position where they could very easily be down on themselves and depressed because they hate the way they look. But I have seen some of them have more confidence than the girls that step on stage.
Yes,
And because
exactly.
they're like, this is how I look, I'm working hard to get it down. I'm not there yet, but I love myself. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And that's what it's all about. It's about loving who you are, flaws and all. I say that all the time. Love who you are, flaws and all. And
Oh,
once
I
you
love.
can, yeah, once you can embrace who you are with every single flaw, every stretch mark, every piece of fat you have on your body, and just embrace that, then you'll have the confidence you need to push forward past another goal, because we should all be aiming to reach our goals.
Yeah, I think I heard. I read this in a book recently about if women would stop spending so time overanalyzing their body and what they ate, all of this food, body image, and you use that energy to focus and you would have, like, you could get a tremendous more amount done. And that really resonated with me because I was like, how much time do I spend beating myself up and all of that? It's, yeah.
And the
It's,
worst thing that we do is compare ourselves to someone else. That's
yeah,
the worst thing we can do. We comparing our bodies to someone else, I
yeah,
think, is a very unrealistic and mean thing to do to ourselves. One, because that person is very different from you. Like you and I will use as an example. I'm clearly black. You're clearly white. Why would I compare myself to how you look? Because we come from two different backgrounds. We
yeah,
have two different family lines. That's ridiculous. Or if I get someone who is black, or you have someone who's white, and you like, man, why her hair is nicer than mine, or her skin is more clear than mine. We're different people.
yeah,
And I think that it's unrealistic to compare ourselves to the next person. And I think, like, when I hear, I'm sure you've heard it, like, your only competition should be yourself.
yeah,
Because if you are constantly trying to better yourself versus trying to look like someone else, you'll do that much better. Like, when I am getting ready for a competition, I look at my previous photos and I pick apart, like, enhanced improvements or things that I could do better. Like, oh man, I killed it this time because last time my legs look like that, and this time my legs look like this. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But if I sit here and say, that's who I want to look like, and I'm like, man, I didn't quite get my legs to match hers, or I didn't quite get my body to match hers, or you compare yourself to someone who has glutes where you have not so, like, very round glutes, and you don't have round glutes.
yeah.
That's an unrealistic comparison. Like, why do that to yourself?
It's so unrealistic, but it's so hard not to
Not
do.
to.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can preach all day about not comparing yourself, but I think as humans, we have to realize that our minds are going to go there. They're going to first be, why does my skin burn so easily? Like something like that. Why is my hair frizzy all the time? Things, but then pull back and think, no, I'm grateful for what I have. But it's so hard not to compare, and I think social media obviously makes it worse with all
Yes.
these. But being cognizant that it does make it worse, and being very, really value your energy and your time on where you're spending, time on social media. Are you following unrealistic body goals? Because I know I've fallen in that trap before, following, people that only post photos in the best lighting, that aren't super authentic. And then you start to, no matter how mentally strong you are, you start to kind of get this image in your head of what you should look like, because
Right.
you are spending so much time and energy viewing these unrealistic things. And
Right.
Fortunately, the world is getting a lot better about Photoshop, showing women of all colors, sizes, and things like that. So we have come a long way, even in the last 2 years. I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Especially with, like, modeling clothes and stuff. Like, I think I saw on Instagram maybe a few weeks ago, there was a clothing line, and I don't want to say the wrong clothing line, so I will not disclose what it was. But it's a very popular clothing line, like, that's been around for before I was born. but they always advertised that clothing line with a model, like a very slim very slim white girl. This time they advertised with a heavier set black lady, like what do they call it? Plus size. Plus size, yes. And she was they advertised her on a billboard in that brand, and I was like, and somebody commented like, wow, the world has really come a long way.
Yeah.
Because they had this, stigma of what beauty was supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And what beauty was supposed to look like, and what healthy or cute or size limits are. And what it is it when the world does that, it creates insecurities for those people who don't fit that mold.
Yes, definitely.
Like for me, for instance, I'm very much the tomboy, okay? And there was a point in time when I felt like me being a tomboy was wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, I like to be cute when it's time, but I'm not big on makeup. I'm not big on a lot of jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, jewelry for me is like earrings and maybe a necklace. I'm not big on rings and just a whole lot of bling. Like, this for me, what I'm wearing, this is this is comfortable for me, and I'm good. But at one point in time, I felt like I needed to be like the other girls who like to be cute all the time and got their nails done all the time. Look, my nails are not done. You hear me? I get manicures and stuff, but I don't always polish my fingers because I feel like it's pointless. Because when I go to the gym, I'm gonna chip up my nails. So what's the point? And that's how I think. I'm like, what's the point of me polishing my nails? I'll get a manicure, but don't bother polishing it. Just buff it out because I'm gonna mess up my polish. But like, I just felt like something was wrong with me because I thought that, attractive was girls that were always dolled up with makeup and with their nails done and their hair done all the time. And I just didn't fit that mold. And it took for me to just be like, listen, this is who you are. You love sneakers. You love high top sneakers and Nikes and leggings and a t-shirt. Like, that's what I like. Every once in a while I wear like a little summer dress, but still for me, that's me. And that's the thing, like, we have to understand, like, there's no certain mold for beauty. Like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Somebody might look at me and be like, girl, you are gorgeous. Like, I love how simple you are. Like, you're not complex as far as, like, I don't have to have the latest. As long as my clothes look nice, I'm good. But then you can have somebody that look at someone all dolled up and tell, oh, you got too much makeup. I don't like that. That's too, So it's in the eye of the beholder. So I think it's important for us, like I said before, just embrace what God has given us, who God has created us to be, because I'm not a prissy girl, never have been. I'm very tough. I like to hit things. I like to push and pull things. That's what bodybuilders do. And I like to punch bags. I'm not one that want to go, sit in a nail salon for hours. I'm like, can you hurry up? I want to just get it done and go. Yeah. And, I don't want to spend hours shopping in the mall. That's not my thing. But that's what makes me unique, and that's what makes me, So I think that what you're doing is absolutely amazing. And you say you've been doing this since 2013?
Yes.
Wow. And I see that your company has, like, it's booming. Because it seems like everybody gets their suits from competition bikinis, Angel competition bikinis, and many of the winners have suits on. We have
really good referrals. So like if someone orders from us, they will tell all their friends about it. So that has really helped us grow because we don't have to spend any money on advertising. We can spend all of our money putting it back to the business to make our processes better, pay our employees more. It's a win-win for everyone. And we are the customer. So like we started out as a customer for competition suits, so we know how they want to be treated. We know that you want to have those updates for your suit. You want to know how it's coming along. You want to know every little thing because you are a bodybuilder, so you have a little bit of perfectionism in you. Like you want to know if you're
and I promise you, the first time I got a video of you guys packaging up my practice suit, I was like blown away. I was like, see, that's what I mean, going the extra mile.
Yeah.
It makes you that much more excited. And then you throw little things in the bag, like I see why people refer everybody. And to be honest, like, this is my first year utilizing competition bikinis, and I was referred to you guys by someone, because in the past I have I would just find a seamstress that could like whip up something for me, you know, because my budget at the time was smaller, so I went with what I could afford, and I didn't really have a whole lot of education on, you know, how the suit is supposed to fit and things like that. And you know, because like me, for instance, right now, you're gonna probably find this funny, but when I first got into this current prep, because I took 2 years off to focus on my business and everything, so when I first got into this competition prep, I was 127 pounds, and you know, I was toned and everything, because you know, I've competed before, so I was toned, and I've always been an athlete, so I was toned, I was fit, but I had a lot of growing that I needed to do. So in the past 4 months, I went from 127 to now 137.
Oh, that's a lot of muscle, right?
That is a lot. And it's funny because people are like, you don't look, I would have never guessed that you weigh 137, because when I posted on Facebook, like, guess my weight, and anybody who could guess it would win something from me. Everybody was like 150, 148, and all this. And I'm laughing because I'm like, do I really look like I'm that much weight? And then people would guess below what I weigh. And people would guess really high because they're like, well, because of the muscle, let me add this in there.
Yeah.
And when I revealed how much I was, it was like, oh my gosh, I would have never guessed. And that's the thing. So back then when I was buying those suits, you know, I would weigh my glutes and everything, or measure my glutes, which right now is 39-inch glutes. And I was like, I went from a 30 to a 39. What in the world? So taking that into account, and then you lose all that weight and your suit's too big. So I love the fact that you guys kind of have that calculator where you know exactly, like, okay, if she's going to lose this amount of weight, this is what her suit needs to be like. And then if we can put some extra adjusters, like give a little bit more insight. Like, what's the whole process behind that?
Yeah, so our sizing is something I'm really proud of, because it hasn't always been like that. You know, when we started in 2013, we didn't have any data about how much weight loss corresponds to how many inches we need to take off. So we've just been we send a survey out after that athlete competes, and getting some data on the fit and how, you know, if there's anything wrong. And we've compiled all of that data over the years, and we're at a 99% fit rate, which means that only like 1% of our customers get their suits and then let us know that they actually have to go and get it altered. It still fit them, but it wasn't perfect on show day. And it started off, you know, back in 2013, it was only about 70, and then it just slowly got higher and higher and higher and higher as we perfected that formula, because it really is, it's different with athletes. You know, your bodies fluctuate so much from the start of prep to the end of prep, and knowing, you know, where you're going to lose that weight. And we also use super stretchy fabric, so it has a 20% spandex content in it, which gives some wiggle room if you measure wrong, or if you lose more weight, lose less weight. It definitely has some wiggle room for some different weight fluctuations.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool, because I know what, I'm excited. And like I said, I had gotten a referral from someone, and someone mentioned something else, another company I had never heard of, and then one person mentioned AC Bikinis, and I literally have been following you guys since 2015. I started competing in 2014. So I had been, I was like, man, I have got to get a suit from them. I need to figure out how I'm going to get a suit from them. And so when I got that referral, I was like, you know what? This is the time I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. And so I went through the process and ordered my my practice suit, which I was extremely excited about. And I was just like, and then I just had a consultation with someone that works for you, and I was just like, this is like super exciting. So where I want to go, and the things that you guys provide, like, it's just amazing. It's amazing. And I love that you have like an angel competition runway, just so even though you're not competition ready, like
Yeah.
your normal body, you know, and you still are like, you know, I'm cute, I feel good, I don't have to look like this all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's really like it's weird, because we know for a fact that is not a healthy body weight to maintain long term. And we know that it's not realistic to maintain long term. However, we still have that mind frame like, I love how that looks and this is right, this is normal. But it's just crazy. So I love what you're doing for building confidence and creating these bikinis for people to compete in, and I think it's amazing. Is there like a link that we can follow you on Instagram? Or
the Instagram is at Angel Competition Bikinis, and then our website is acbikinis.com.
Okay, perfect. So anyone who's listening to this or watching this on YouTube, listen, if you decide you want to compete or you just want a really cute bikini to go to the beach in, I'm telling you, you need to go to Angel Competition Bikini, because they custom make everything, and it is like, I promise you, I swore you guys were like this humongous company, not knowing you're like a little small business, but like you operate like you're this humongous company, and that is so commendable. And I'm so excited that you gave me the opportunity to chat with you today, and I'm looking forward to getting more suits from you in the future and referring more people.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I love talking about confidence. It's my passion, my mission. So thank you for letting me talk about it.
You are very welcome, and thank you so much for coming. And until next time, Chiquita Nicole Speaks is out.